Let's be honest. Most people don't live paycheck to paycheck because they're lazy, careless, or irresponsible. They work hard. Many of them work extremely hard. Some work longer hours than people who are already wealthy. Yet year after year, nothing changes. The problem isn't effort. The problem is the system most people are raised inside, and the rules they're never taught. From a young age, the path is simple and repeated until it feels unquestionable. Go to school, get a job, earn a salary, pay bills, wait for the next paycheck. As long as the paycheck comes, life feels stable. But stability is not the same as security. Security means your life doesn't fall apart the moment income pauses. Most people don't have that. The moment a paycheck is delayed, reduced, or lost, stress takes over. Rent becomes urgent. Bills pile up. Savings disappear faster than expected. That's not bad planning. That's fragile design. Before going further, it's important to be clear about something. This is not financial advice, and it's not a promise of results. Everyone's situation is different. People have different responsibilities, risks, and starting points. What follows isn't a shortcut or a guarantee. It's an explanation of patterns that show up repeatedly in real life. Paycheck-to-paycheck living is not mainly an income problem. It's a structure problem. Most people earn money in the simplest way possible. They trade time for pay. 1 hour of work equals 1 hour of income. No work means no money. This model works for survival, but it struggles to create freedom. The problem isn't that this system is evil. The problem is that it has limits. Expenses don't operate on the same rules as income. Rent doesn't pause because you're tired. Food doesn't wait because you had a bad month. Inflation doesn't care how loyal you've been to your job. So people respond the way they've been taught to respond. They budget harder. They cut small pleasures. They say no more often. They work overtime. They take second jobs or side hustles. None of this is wrong. In fact, it's responsible, but it doesn't change the core issue. Because effort alone doesn't change position. If effort created wealth, the poorest workers would be rich. They're not. Construction workers don't outwork billionaires. Factory workers don't outwork CEOs. Nurses, drivers, cleaners, and warehouse staff don't lack discipline or stamina. What they lack is leverage. Leverage simply means having something that continues to work even when you're not actively pushing it. Most people never build that. Instead, they live inside a reset cycle. Every month starts at zero. Money comes in. Bills take most of it. What's left is too small to matter. Then the cycle repeats. Over time, this does something dangerous. It makes stress feel normal. People stop asking how to escape and start asking how to cope. How do I stretch this paycheck? How do I survive this month? How do I make it until Friday? Survival thinking replaces long-term thinking. And once that happens, escape becomes harder, not because the person is weak, but because their mental energy is constantly under attack. Emergencies don't help either. A medical bill, a family obligation, a car repair, a sudden rent increase. One unexpected event can erase months of discipline. This is why many people who do everything right still feel stuck. They're playing a game where the rules don't reward stability, they punish fragility. Escaping paycheck to paycheck usually starts with a mental shift that feels uncomfortable at first. It starts with understanding that income is a tool, not a destination. A job is not the enemy. Income is not the problem. The mistake is letting income become the ceiling. Most people are taught to use income for comfort first and freedom later. But for many, later never comes. Money flows in, but it flows straight back out, into rent, subscriptions, lifestyle costs, and quiet upgrades that don't actually change life. Comfort increases, security does not. People upgrade phones, apartments, cars, and habits, but not position. And this isn't because they're foolish. It's because no one explains the alternative clearly. The alternative is ownership. Ownership doesn't always mean owning a business or real estate. It means owning something that doesn't fully depend on your daily presence to exist. It could be a skill that grows more valuable over time. It could be equity in something that earns independently. It could be a system that continues running even when you rest. Ownership stores effort. When effort is stored, time stops being the only input. Without ownership, time is constantly consumed. With ownership, time begins to multiply. This doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen without risk. It's important to say this clearly. There are no guarantees. Not every investment works. Not every skill pays off. Not every plan succeeds. But people who escape paycheck to paycheck tend to accept this uncertainty instead of pretending safety exists where it doesn't. Because the truth is, paycheck to paycheck living is already risky. It just feels familiar. True security is not the absence of risk. It's having options. Options come from position, not just income. This is where many people misunderstand the idea of earning more. They chase higher pay without changing structure. A higher salary can help, but it often brings higher expenses, more responsibility, more pressure, more dependence. Without structural change, higher income can still lead to the same cycle, just at a higher level. That's why some high earners still live paycheck to paycheck. The issue isn't how much comes in, it's what stays, what grows, and what remains if income stops. Escaping this cycle usually looks slow from the outside. It looks like delayed gratification. It looks like boring consistency. It looks like choosing progress over appearance. It means using income intentionally instead of emotionally. It means building skills that give you more control over how and where you earn. It means slowly shifting from spending everything to owning something. This doesn't mean extreme sacrifice, and it doesn't mean copying someone else's path. Everyone's responsibilities are different. Everyone's risks are different. The goal isn't perfection, it's direction. Each small step away from dependency increases resilience. Each small asset reduces fragility. Each stored effort makes the future slightly less stressful. Over time, those small shifts compound. Stress reduces, choices expand, money becomes quieter. The paycheck stops being the single pillar holding life together, and that's the real escape. Not luxury, not flashy success, but breathing room, the ability to absorb shocks, the ability to say no, the ability to plan beyond the next bill. This is why most people never escape paycheck to paycheck, not because they fail, but because they're never shown how to redesign the system they're living inside. The goal isn't to earn more this month. The goal is to build a life that doesn't collapse if a paycheck disappears. That's not theory. That's not motivation. That's finance in practice.